So tonight I'm going to show you how I create, I guess, like an everyday makeup look on myself. I would normally do these tutorials with a model, but obviously I can't do that at the moment. So I'm going to show my own face. I'm just going to show you how I do almost like an everyday makeup routine. But if you have any questions, please do pop them in the chat and I can answer them whilst going through what I'm doing on my face. And yeah, we can go from there. So first of all, I'm going to show you kind of how I take my skincare routine into a makeup, into my makeup. So if I was getting ready to go out in the day, I would always put SPF on. I don't rely on my face cream to provide my SPF, so I always put it on separately, even in the winter, even in January in the UK. So that's what I would do first. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now because it's the evening and I'm not going to be going out after this. So I would then go in and put a face cream on, day moisturizer, which I mix up. I kind of, depending on, I guess, the time of the year and how my skin is and things like that, it depends on what day moisturizer I use. But to keep it simple, I'm going to use our moisturizer from Jecca Blac. It's a hydrating primer that actually doubles up as a primer for makeup as well. So at the moment I've actually got really like dry areas in my skin. I also, due to wearing a mask, I've got some like blemishes around my chin area as well, so I'm being quite careful what I put on my face, just because of that. I don't normally have blemishes, but I think wearing a mask has made it a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to put the moisturizer kind of all over my face and my fingers. I actually got this product earlier on today, sent in the post, and it's actually quite a cool product that I wanted to try out, and I thought, why not try it out whilst I'm on the video tonight. It's a what they call a facial roller, and I've never used one before, but it's kind of like this, and you roll it on your skin, and it's meant to, I don't know, it's meant to do a few things. It's meant to reduce the appearance of pores and fine lines, and improve overall skin tone. I guess you meant to put it on after your primer, but I've never used anything like this before, so I thought it's quite interesting. It's quite nice and cooling. But anyway, I always kind of like trying stuff, and yeah, that was one of those things. But now I've kind of got my hydrating primer. The roller thing is just called a facial roller by Honey Bell. It's nice because it's cold, so it's nice on the face. And when you've been inside all day and central heating and stuff, it's quite nice to have something like that. So anyway, so now I've put the hydrating primer on. I'm now going to go in and start on the base. So one tip I would always give, so basically, just so if I didn't explain it properly before, like when I had my clients, I was doing one-to-one kind of makeup lessons. I don't do the makeup lessons myself personally anymore. We do makeup lessons within Jecca Blac. We also do online consultations for makeup. We also do where you send a selfie and we'll help you with makeup. But anyway, a lot of requests we get from customers, and what I used to get from when I did clients one-to-one was how to start their makeup. So obviously skincare's, the first step, but then whether it be eyes or base. And I guess for me, I would always start with eyes if I was doing a kind of full like glam look. If I was going out in the evening and I was putting eyeshadow on, I would always do eyes first, because if you're putting eyeshadows on and stuff, it normally drops down. It's called droppage. Normally drops down to the face and it makes a mess. So I would always find it would be easier to do the eyes first, then remove the makeup that fell on your face after, then do your base. But for every day, I just do the base first and then the eyes. It doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, some people used to ask that, like it was quite a common question. So I thought I'd cover that. So brushes, like when I do these things, like these makeup lessons and these tutorials, I try to keep it simple with the, I'm just going to turn my phone off. Keep it simple with the brushes, because I think for people that are new to makeup, like the brushes is a bit overwhelming of what brushes to use. So I'm going to try and keep it really simple. Please do ask if you have any questions about brushes, please ask. So I am going to cover my blemishes. I'm going to cover my under eye darkness that I've got going on, and I'm going to cover my base. I'm going to use the Correct Conceal palette from Jecca Blac. This was designed to cover beard shadow, acne, scarring, blemishes, and any kind of redness. And it's got two sections of the palette. It's got a color corrector cream and a concealer cream. Both are very blendable and they layer, so you can like have quite a natural finish, or you can layer up to a more heavier coverage. Yeah, so it does cover dark stubble. So the way you would cover dark stubble is you'd go in with the color corrector side of the palette and put it over the stubble, and then you would go in with a concealer. And the color corrector, the first step, gets rid of the bluey undertone of the skin, and then the concealer goes on top and covers that area completely. And we do obviously different shades, so yeah, so if you need any help with that, though, like I said before, the makeup assistance side is on the website. You can send a selfie and we will match you to your most suitable shade. Sorry, I'm seeing the questions, that's why I'm getting a bit distracted. The concealer is called the Correct and Conceal palette, and I use medium 3.0. I would show you the inside of the palette, but because mine is being used a lot, it's a bit gross. And you can see I've got a lot of them here. So most of them are run out, but I will show you what an empty one looks like. It's a bit gross, because I'm currently on my dressing table. I'm not inside the office, so I haven't got a new, but that's kind of the two palettes. Obviously, they are normally full. So please excuse that. But anyway, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to use the corrector side. And I'm going to put it, you can use the corrector side, like I said, on your beard shadow, or you can use it under your eye, because basically you're getting rid, a color corrector gets rid of like the under layer of like the blueness. Like on my skin tone is blue and green, but depending on obviously your skin tone, for me, the peachy color from my palette gets rid of the blueness under my eye. And I don't know if you can see straight away, but so it's quite dark in here, but I've got the ring light here, so it's very like bright on my face, but I don't know if you can see, but I've added it into, yeah, so you can, I would always suggest after shaving, you want to put a moisturizing cream after, just to moisturize the area, and then going in with a color corrector. Make sure that when you put the moisturizer on, you don't cover your face with moisturizer, because then it's going to be really difficult for makeup to sit on top of that. It's going to be a bit slippy and oily and stuff. So yes, Jasmine, yes, this is your question is, so you're saying this would be good for transgender individuals. That's correct. These products were made for all makeup wearers, and like I said at the beginning, like I used to do makeup lessons for lots of different people that were learning to do makeup for the first time, or not necessarily even the first time, just in general. And I, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that shower. I would always say that we have a focus group of customers that use our and test out our products, and that focus group is made up of lots of different makeup wearers and lots of people, really. So yeah, our products are suitable for everyone. I'm just gonna finish this part, and then I'm gonna get back onto the questions in a second. So okay, so I blended out the color corrector, and then I'm gonna go in and apply the concealer. So as you can see at the moment, like, you know, it's just this area that's covered, right? But I will go in and add everything. But the color corrector is just to get rid of the blueness, so that's why I put it around the eyes. Then I'm going to go in with the concealer around my blemishes and just get rid of. Okay, so I'm getting quite a few questions. Sorry. How long should you leave it after prime moisturizer before beginning makeup? Literally like a few seconds. Just make sure that you're not applying it straight onto moisturizer, right? Just leave it for a few seconds so the moisturizer has a chance to absorb into the skin, and then apply your makeup. So I'm going in with the concealer and applying it all over this area, just because I have blemishes here at the moment. I use this palette as an alternative to foundation. So that's why, and I look very pale at the moment, right? Because, you know, we've all been indoors. But obviously there's different shades, but I always kind of use this product as an alternative to foundation because it does the exact same, but it covers nicer and better and smoother than any foundation that I've used. Okay, cool. So after applying concealer with a brush, would you be using your fingers? Okay, so people ask about the kind of brushes and stuff. I would say if you were covering an area of your face that's like, for example, if you had a bit of redness around your nose, something that's a little easier to cover, you can go in and use your fingers. And it's great because this palette actually has a mirror, and it's really nice because you can just go in and like you can use it on the go kind of thing. Whereas if you're covering something like I've just done, where I'm covering blemishes and I'm covering my under eye, you're covering eyeshadow and stuff, I would definitely go in and use brushes. The brushes that I would use, I would always kind of go in, if you're applying beard shadow coverage, for example, if you're applying beard shadow, sorry, for example, I'd go in with quite a blunt brush, quite a dense brush, not one that's like this, right? You don't want something like this, you want something that's a bit more dense. So I would literally take it and push the product onto the skin, and then kind of blend away the edges. I hope that answers that question. If you want to cover a smaller area, then you can use smaller brushes, right? There are brushes, concealer brushes, most of them are small. So when some concealer brushes are being designed, they're not considering large areas that need to be concealed. So that's why I'm suggesting almost a foundation brush. Sorry, just dropped something. A foundation brush for covering that area. I do wash my brushes regularly. You don't have to wash them after every use. If you do makeup every day, that is a lot. So yeah, I wash them regularly to answer that question. Okay, so I finished with the Correct to Conceal palette now. I feel like I've got a blank canvas. I've covered my blemishes, I've covered my under eye darkness, I've covered all the kind of redness and stuff, and I've got literally a blank canvas to work with, which then takes me on to contour. I could do a whole session around contour. It's one of the most requested things that we get. Our customer service person, Jim, gets so many questions around this type of stuff. It's contour is a massive subject. Like it's very confusing to do. So I'm going to try and give you as many tips as possible, but I quite literally could speak about it all day. So after we designed the Correct to Conceal palette, we went and, like I said before, worked with our focus group to understand and establish other products. And one of the products we came out with was the Sculpt and Soften palette, which was the second launch of ours. The Sculpt and Soften palette is a contour palette. It's a cream contour palette. And because, like I just said, I could speak about contouring for hours. It's a subject that it's just a lot. There's a lot of techniques and different ways of doing contour, because contouring is a technique, which I'll go to in a moment. We actually, the palette comes with a manual that's 34 pages long. It's the same size as this palette, so imagine this is the manual. It's 34 pages long, and it talks about the different contouring, and it comes with face charts and pictures and things like that. So it breaks out contouring for you for different needs. So what is contouring? Many of you are probably thinking. Contouring is the technique that is for makeup. Contouring is a word, right? Like contour, but it's shadow and highlighting, shadow and highlight. The technique contouring is used to highlight and shadow certain parts of your face. So, for example, I don't know if you may have seen like the brown lines on people's faces and stuff. Obviously, that's probably bad contour, but basically, it's like to deepen the natural shadows of your face and to highlight the areas that you want to highlight. So a very common way of contouring is to contour the cheekbones and the jawline, just to make your face more defined. And there are many different ways. People request contouring from us, they're asking how to contour to feminize the face and bone structure and things like that. So there's different ways of doing contour. You can contour your nose for a smaller nose or a bigger nose, or your eyes to make them bigger or smaller. You can do anything. It's creating an illusion with makeup. And it's a very popular technique. Lots of people use it. I do subtle contouring. I do subtle contouring most days. I don't go into advanced contouring because I don't feel the need to, but some people do, so it's up to you. So yeah, I go in with the Sculpt and Soften palette. I use shade light. This comes in 3 shades, light, medium, and dark. I use shade light. I go in with the contour with an angled brush. So the reason why I'm using a more fluffy brush this time is because I want to go in and actually blend it into the skin, rather than a concealer where you want it to almost cover. You want this to be more subtle, so you want to blend it into the skin. And this formulation has been designed to blend very well. So basically what I do is I use contouring just to accentuate my cheekbones. I'm just going to go in and add a little bit there. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm basically looking into the camera or the mirror, whatever you want to say, straight on, and then you can see kind of the highlight, the shadows of your face. And then I'm going to go into the tip of my nose, just because I like to just add a little tip to it. Just to like kind of shorten the nose, I guess. I don't really know why I do that, but it's, yeah. And then I'm going to go in and add a bit to my forehead, to the temples. So the best contour is contouring that you cannot see. Like, that is what it is. It's causing an illusion. It's not meant to be seen. If you can't see the contour, you've done a good job, because you're creating the shadow and the highlight, right? So that's why you should never really see the stripes that some people have on Instagram and stuff. You see these stripes and stuff. Yeah. So that's a really subtle way of doing contour. Like I said, I could do a whole session on it, but I hope that explained a bit about contour and what it is, how I use it personally, but how you you could possibly use it. So now I'm going to go in with what products are you using for contouring? So we're using the Jecca Blac Sculpt and Soften palette in light. It's a cream palette. So that's that. And it comes with a contour, which is the darker shade, and a highlight, which is the lighter shade. I am now going to go in and use a bronzer just to bronze my face. I'm pale at the moment, so I'm just going to go in using the same brush to make it easy. And I'm going to go in and just add some bronzer. This bronzer is a product from NARS. But you can use any matte bronzer. There are certain, when you're investing in building your makeup bag for the first time, maybe, or you're just investing in makeup anyway, there are certain products you want to invest in, and there are certain products that you can maybe feel like you can get anywhere, really. And bronzer is one of them. You don't need a really expensive bronzer. Is pale bad? Like bronzer? No, pale isn't bad. No, I just feel like I am, because I've got dark hair. It's just a personal preference, right? Like I've got dark hair, so I feel like I need, I don't know, I just need a bit color. But that's just me. That's just my thing. Like I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna add in a bit of bronze. I'm gonna basically add the bronzer where you would naturally like imagine if you're like getting tanned. Imagine if we're outside getting tanned. No, imagine if you're outside, where would you naturally tan? Obviously it's normally the forehead, the tip of the nose, the cheeks. So you kind of want to add where you would, so just the cheeks, the forehead. Oh yeah, Sydney, great. Well, you're probably tanned. It's I think today was 9 degrees here, so or 8 degrees. I'm in London, so yeah, it's quite. It actually isn't that bad for the UK. Okay, yeah, so that's a very good question about the prominent brow bone. That is a question that I get asked a lot. So my tip for that would be, and like I said about this manual that comes with the Sculpt and Soften, it actually is a question that we get asked a lot. Sorry, there's a bit of noise in the background there. So with a brow bone, if it's more prominent, I would put the contour, which is the darker shade, like really subtly, just on top of the brow bone, and then the highlights just above, right? What this does, but you have to do it so subtly. Sorry about that noise. You have to do this so subtly. How would you work? You just, okay, so sorry, there's two questions I'm trying to answer. So with the brow bone, you then put the contour, and then you put it, it causes the illusion the brow bones push back and then the highlights brought forward, if that makes sense. So it's just, but you have to do it very subtly, otherwise it looks a bit dirty. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that you could, I didn't realize you couldn't see the questions. I'm sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. I'll say the question and then I'll say the answer. So the other question I got is, how do you work out how much to load the brush? So when you start with makeup, and maybe, I mean, when you get used to, like, for example, when I put my makeup on now, I know exactly how to do it because I've done it for so long. But when you're probably new to it, right, you want to add as little to the brush, like a small amount to the brush, and then it's easier to add more than take away. If you add too much onto the brush and you can't blend it in, you have to almost take your makeup off and you restart. Whereas if you're just adding little by little, you can build it up to what you want. Anyway, so now I've done the color corrector and the contour. I'm very aware of time because there have been loads of questions, which are great, but I really want to get on and show you a bit more about how to do my makeup. So then I'm going to go in and add some colour, which is always fun. So the Jecca Blac Play Pots are a product that we launched in summer. And they are these big pots. The reason why they're big is because we really encourage people to use them with different types of brushes. And they come in 4 colours, so they're really fun. And they're basically designed, they're a cream pigment pot designed for cheeks, eyes, and lips. And the reason why our focus group loved them was because they could add them all over. It's multi-use. If you're new to makeup, there's no, oh, what's this for? What's this for? Just use it wherever you want, get creative with it. So I'm just going to show you how to use my favorite color, which is the pink pearl. It's actually more pinky in real life. It looks very gold on this camera, but I'm basically going to get my finger and I'm going to get the product and I'm going to add it into my cheek. So obviously it looks a bit strange at the moment. And then I'm going to get a brush. And then I'm just going to kind of blend it into my cheek. And it's very shimmery and nice. And then I'm going to get this and I'm going to add it onto my eyes. I literally just push it in. And it's the easiest way to add color onto your eyes. Just like that, you've got a bit of a peaky, kind of glittery color going on. And it's little, sorry, let's blend that out a bit more. It's little effort, you know, just like no brushes involved. Just put it on your eye and you can kind of blend it out. And then for fun, like I sometimes will go in, there's a red one that's quite popular. I'll sometimes go in and add this with the same finger to my lips, which is really fun. Just put it on it, push it on my lips. Just like push it down. It's a really subtle reddy color. And then I'm going to go in with a gold one I really like as well. And some people are getting really creative with these. Like some people are putting gold on the lips and stuff like that. It's really fun. Especially if you're like, you know, that's what I was about to say, especially if you're going somewhere fun, but I mean, yeah, I guess that's not happening right now, but see that gold, that is like really pigmented and it's popping lots. It's really fun. And that was so simple. I literally just got that and put it all over my eye. See, and it's just a really great way of adding color. Yeah, so with the fact that it's cream, it is really easy to blend because it just blends out really well. And it works on hooded eyes because I always suggest with hooded eyes, because, sorry, someone's asked, what would that product work on hooded eyes? I struggle applying eyeshadow usually, because you're literally using your fingers, you're pressing onto your eyelid, it's super easy to apply. No brush involved. I'm just going to rub it into my hands. I will wash my hands afterwards. No brush involved, and because it's like cream, you can blend it out nicely, and it will be seen on a hooded eye, if that makes sense, because it's going to be going above the crease as well. Someone asked, is it okay to put one color on top of the other? Yeah. So actually, I quite like adding the colors on top of each other, but I've just really quickly showed you how to use one color on the cheeks, another color on the lips, and another color on the eyes, and I've just blended them in, and they're super creamy, so you can blend them in and it doesn't matter because cream on cream is quite easy to layer. But if you're sometimes working with a shadow and then a cream, it can be it can go a bit like, it can curdle a bit, so it doesn't work as well, but cream on cream works, which works fine. So they're called, someone asked what they're called. They're called play pots, and on the Jecca Blac website, yeah, we've got 4 shades at the moment. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to eyebrows. So I have quite bushy, like not really bushy, but like I have naturally quite dark hair. So I have got quite a decent shape on my eyebrows naturally. Someone asked, I struggle because I have very bad vision from one eye, and these seem like a really good fit. Yeah, they're really like, they're super easy to put on, to just press them on. So hopefully they are easy for you to use. So I'm gonna use this brow pencil called from Benefit. I think it's actually just called My Brow Pencil. And I'm just gonna push the hair up on my eyebrows. Every day, like I don't really, for an everyday makeup, I don't really add anything to my eyebrows, if I'm honest. I just feel like I don't need to. But this is what comes, like there's 2 sides to it. So there's the brush side, and then there's this side, right? I've never actually used this product before, so I'm gonna see what this looks like. So I'm just gonna like add a little bit of color. Yeah, so I always think like if you don't need to add color to your eyebrows, then just don't. Like it's not needed. I know obviously eyebrows is a huge thing now, makeup, and everyone seems to do it. But I feel like if you've naturally got quite good eyebrows, just leave it, because you don't really want the eyebrows to dominate the whole face, I guess. And if you add color, obviously it's going to do that. Like it's going to make them stand out a bit more. But I just go in and like basically apply product to like where I see there's a bit of gaps. So like go in like around this kind of area. The front, there's quite a lot of gaps. And then when I kind of can't see, when I apply too much, I just kind of go in with my fingers and smudge it around. I quite like a natural brow look, so I make sure to always like make sure I'm working with my my natural eyebrow hair. When people go in and like do like a like, you know, like the kind of very strong brows, I don't really like that. I quite like just the natural look. Okay, now mascara. So this is my tip for mascara. Eyelash curler. So I would suggest doing this. I actually really love an eyelash curler. So this is an eyelash curler from a brand called Shure Mirror. So it's SHUUEMURA. But you can get eyelash curlers like from quite a few places. So what you do is you go, it's going to be quite hard to do this because my mirror is here, and I'm going to have to be really careful not to poke myself in the eye. I don't know if I can get away with doing it on camera. I don't know, hopefully you can see what I'm doing if I do this. I'm going to look like down into my mirror, and don't close your eye when your eyelashes are in the curler. Just do 1, 2, 3, release, and then there, and look, so like 1, 2, 3, release, and there. Okay, so that just kind of curls the eyelashes a little bit. And now mascara. So I love this mascara from Lancome. It's a really good mascara. We haven't actually launched the mascara yet from Jecca Blac, but yeah, it's a really good mascara that I like. And I just like, when I do mascara and you're putting it on yourself, you kind of want to look in your mirror, but like you look down into your mirror, so then you kind of can pick up all the, see how it's kind of, I put it on the bottom as well. Sorry, I'm concentrating. It's hard to sometimes around the eye area. You kind of want to make sure you don't poke yourself in the eye. So that is my everyday subtle, well, I guess it's a little bit subtle, but not really, makeup look. So I'm gonna just summarize on what I used quickly, so people remember. So I used initially I actually used that roller first, but anyway, I used a primer, a hydrate primer. I then went in and used the Correct to Conceal palette, which is the one that I covered my under eye with and can be used for beard shadow. I then went in with the Sculpt and Soften. I then went in with a bronzer. Then the play pots. So I went in and did some play pots on my eyes, lips and cheeks, mascara, and my eyebrows, which was Benefit one in brown. Okay, it doesn't actually say, but it was brown black. Yeah, not really a shade, but yeah. So that is it. I hope you learned something, and if you sorry, I'm seeing all the questions still coming in. I'm like getting really distracted. But if you have any questions, please do please do let us know now, and I can try and answer them all. So I think I got a question. What's the best technique when applying? So when I apply mascara, I look. So like my mirror is here, that you can't see it, but I am looking down into the mirror. So so like, for example, this is the mirror and you're kind of looking down so you can pick up the eyelashes quite easily. Someone asked, what if you have pretty much no bottom eyelashes? There are actual mascaras out there that you can, that are just for bottom eyelashes, and the brushes are a lot smaller. So they are better when you have less eyelashes to kind of pick up the ones that you do. So yeah. Is there any tips on matching your skin tone to the Correct to Conceal palette? Yes, on our website, I would suggest sending, you can go onto Makeup Help, and then you can either send a selfie to us if we will match it your best color, or I would use, if you go onto the Correct to Conceal page and you want to do it yourself, there are actual photos on there of people using the different shades, so you can match yourself to one of the best shades. But yeah, I would say getting some help from us is probably better, because it's we do it, day in, day out. Okay, so someone asked, I have a lot of troubles getting contouring right. Are there any good areas to focus on when trying to feminize features? So I would say it really depends on your face. Like, obviously it's really difficult for me to recommend contouring tips without seeing you. But I would say that the most common techniques for contouring, for feminizing the face, would be to do the brow trick that I said about putting, because like the prominent brow, for example, putting a bit of contouring on top of the eyebrows, and it makes it just push back that brow bone a bit more, and then putting highlights on top of the forehead. But it, like I said, it really depends on your face shape. That's why doing a bit of research around different techniques of contouring and then kind of figuring out what you want from it is probably the best option. But again, please ask us if you want to send in a selfie to our makeup assistance page, then we can help you with that. What SPF do you recommend? So I'm sorry, it's just behind my camera. I'm currently using this one. I got it from Boots, basically. SPF 30 at the moment. When I go on holiday, though, I put it up to 50. I'm quite thinking about SPF, though. I quite like how to wear out my face. It's very important. From the beginning, would it be cleanser, tone, SPF, etc.? Yeah. So cleanse, tone, SPF, then moisturizer. To remove makeup, I would do remove makeup, cleanse, always double cleanse when you remove makeup as well. And obviously miss out the SPF part when remove makeup, because it's normally the end of the day. What do you use to set your makeup? Powder. I use powder at the moment just to set my makeup. And I think someone else asked um, about eyeliner. Yeah, so eyeliner, I was gonna do eyeliner tonight, but then I thought it's a big one. Like lots of people always ask about that as well. I mean, yeah, there is a lot of ways of doing eyeliner. You can do liquid liner, pencil eyeliner, lots of different ways. I would say if you're new to eyeliner, I would practice with an eyeshadow, and using a brush. Like there's a brush here, for example, an eyeliner brush, and doing eyeshadow instead of an eyeliner, because eyeshadows just tend to be a bit more easier to work with. They're a little bit more, an eyeliner, you have to wait for it to dry, and sometimes it goes smudgy. So maybe build up the technique and confidence with an eyeshadow, and then that would be a good place to start. So yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed. I think the rest are just thank yous and stuff like that. And you're welcome. I hope you've enjoyed. And like I said, if you have any other questions, please head to that link, because it will give you access to our details and our contact details here at Jecca Blac. And I hope you learned something. So yeah,